These are the longest-lasting and largest military exercises in Taiwan's history. They began today and will last for 10 days. The scenario is defense against an attack against the island by the People's Republic of China. The more we practice in peacetime, the stronger Taiwan's army will be when the time comes. And an army ready for battle is a greater guarantee of security for the people. A secure Taiwan is a guarantee of peace and stability in the region. The island's civilian residents are also actively participating in the exercises. Life goes on as normal, but the fact that Taiwanese military exercises, the Hanguang exercises, are currently taking place, in which civilians also participate, reminds Taiwanese people that the threat from China is very real. The Taiwanese assume that an attack by Beijing would be a full-scale invasion, similar to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We are transporting equipment to the most strategic locations in order to optimally repel a possible enemy attack. We have a plan of action. My orders are being implemented. No one here is underestimating the threat, especially since a few days ago, the Chinese sent their aircraft carrier to the region, accompanied by 2 destroyers and a missile frigate. It was a show of force, and a preview of events that may soon unfold in Taiwan. Another major armed conflict is about to break out in Asia between China, Taiwan, and the countries that support Taiwan, primarily the USA, and possibly Japan and South Korea. We know very well what happened in February 2022, when the Russians attacked Ukraine, and what we can observe with certainty is that, since 2022, we have seen a constant increase in tension in the Far East, between the ever-expanding military power of China and Taiwan. British intelligence warns that a Chinese attack on Taiwan is possible, and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, in an interview with the American New York Times, spoke directly about the deal between Beijing and Moscow. There's an increasing realization, and let's not be naive about this. If Xi Jinping were to attack Taiwan, he would first make sure that he makes a call to his very junior partner in all of this, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, residing in Moscow, and telling him, hey, I'm going to do this, and I need you to keep them busy in Europe by attacking NATO territory. That is most likely the way this will progress. So, there are 2 potential threats on the horizon. The imperial ambitions of Russia, which may reach NATO territory, and China's desire to dominate the Asia-Pacific region. Ominous announcements are already flowing from Beijing. The military exercises in Taiwan are nothing more than a bluff and an attempt to appropriate the island. These actions lead to a dead end. Whatever they do, they will not stop their unification plan. Taiwan is not only a strategically located island opening the way for China to the Pacific Ocean, it is also the world's capital of semiconductor production, used today in virtually all electronic devices, computers, smartphones, but also in the military. It is therefore a struggle for big money, influence, and dominance in the region. For decades, the Chinese have considered Taiwan to be their rebellious, wayward province, which should be annexed into the rest of the country. But, on the other hand, the annexation of Taiwan by China would open the gates to the Pacific Ocean wide for the Chinese fleet, which is something that the Americans, for example, do not want.
In the Oval Office,
and it is precisely in the USA that the people of Taiwan see their greatest hope. President Donald Trump's administration does not want to allow Chinese expansion. From the current Trump administration, including Pete Hegseth, we often hear that the United States is ready to fully provide credible, as Hegseth put it, deterrence measures for Taiwan against China. But the USA is active on many fronts. Efforts to bring peace to Ukraine are continuing. In the Middle East, there is a fragile truce between Israel and Iran. Fragile because Yemeni Houthi terrorists supporting Tehran sank a Liberian-flagged bulk carrier in the Red Sea. 4 crew members were killed. The fate of 11 remains unknown, and 10 were rescued.
As a maritime threat actor, right, they never stopped attacking Israel, so despite all this talk about the ceasefire with the US, the attacks on Israel continued. But indeed, we haven't seen any real attacks on merchant shipping since December last year, and they're back with a bang.
Russian imperialism, Islamic terrorism, and Chinese domination are threats that Donald Trump and his American allies are facing today in various parts of the world.